This thing that he's doing where he's pretending that he's a woman is very smart.
It really don't make a difference if you say he or she to me.
Some psychopath can just pretend that they're a woman and knock women over on the court.
I gotta take this out.
Norman's a fucking woman, dude. I bet.
Oh,
It's a giant dude. A giant dude who's just dominating these chicks. So the more controversy there is, the more people do come to see them. The crazy thing about the WNBA, imagine if the NBA had the same sexual dynamic. Imagine if the most of the team was a bunch of gay dudes.
Welcome back to Basketball Zone X. WNBA fans, today we're diving into a story that has sparked major controversy and heated reactions across the basketball world. Joe Rogan is now at the center of a growing WNBA debate, with Brittney Griner, Sophie Cunningham, and the league itself being pulled into the conversation. Claims, criticism, and strong opinions are spreading fast. Well, what's actually behind all this? So without wasting any more time, let's jump straight into today's video and break it all down. Top personalities in sports commentary are now calling out what they see as double standards within the WNBA, putting the league under even more pressure as this debate continues to grow. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 73% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So, did you subscribe already? Great. Thank you so much for your support. Now, back to the video.
If you can't define what a woman is, then you're an idiot. And this is nonsense. And that's what your ideology is. Your ideology is so stupid, you can't define the difference between a male and a female. And so you've decided that people identifying with something means it's a real thing, and you have to say it because everybody else says it, and they scare you, and they'll cancel you and go after you. So everyone's agreed to nonsense. So this is where we painted ourselves into this dumb...
Corporate media's initial aggressive push to promote political narratives has completely backfired, sparking a fierce public debate that now stretches from major podcast studios to mainstream news programs.
Griner now adding her voice to the debate over transgender athletes. She's a WNBA star, slamming the push to ban biological men from competing against biological women.
So when someone like Brittney Griner says, actually, I'm going to fight for men to play in women's sports, it's just another blow against lots of young female athletes.
But they've painted themselves in a corner, because if they don't let the guy in, it looks bad.
Right.
But if they do, he's going to dunk.
Well, the thing is, can you define what a woman is? And until you can't, if you can't define what a woman is, then you're an idiot. And this is
In a heated episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, host Joe Rogan criticized the sports establishment, arguing that these organizations have put themselves in a difficult position where they struggle to even define what a woman is. Rogan delivered his point in blunt and uncompromising terms.
Things that Joe Rogan, a prominent podcast, one of the things that made him wake up to this issue is he's an MMA fighter.
Correct.
And when Joe Rogan saw biological males who are transitioning to female beating the hell out of biological females in the ring, he started to think,
What are we doing?
What are we doing here? Like, why are we cheering this on?
If you say anything like, look, trans women aren't women. There are men who identify as women, which is fine. But there's a biological distinction that protects women in sports, and that's chromosomes. We know XX chromosome, you're a woman, XY, you're a dude. Do it that way. Call yourself whatever the fuck you want. But if you want to play in the WNBA, you have to have X.
He highlighted the role of genetics in biological sex, pointing to the typical XX chromosome pattern in females and XY pattern in males, and males proctoral session in males, while arguing that allowing biological males to compete in women's sports could undermine the protections and competitive safeguards that Title IX was designed to provide.
WNBA have an onus of responsibility to be able to ensure that it's fair playership, though. I don't know if playership's a word.
For college sports and for the WNBA too, 100%. I mean, I don't think it's ever okay for guys to be playing girl sports, but if this is true, then she was like the origin of this epidemic.
Mostly big black gay ladies and a few scared-looking Sophie Cunninghams that have to point fingers at people. I mean, you're surrounded by people who think you're perhaps sexually attractive.
They've made it into a reality show. It's become like Real Housewives. They're all just fight now.
Right.
That's the only reason you watch.
But it is an interesting sexual...
Rogan also highlighted the contentious political climate surrounding the WNBA, arguing that outspoken players like Sophie Cunningham have been pushed to defend their views on biological sex against league narratives that, in his view, conflict with established scientific principles.
You're going to have a tremendous platform, but where is that going to be on your radar in terms of advocating for athletes, all athletes, transgender athletes, to be able to play?
Oh, I mean, that ranks high on the list of things that I'll be fighting for and speaking up against. Everyone deserves the right to play.
The WNBA's Brittney Griner is a man.
That's not a woman. That's not a female. That's not even a trans person. That is a man.
Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man.
When WNBA veteran Brittney Griner publicly entered the national debate, the controversy intensified even further. Griner stated on camera that everyone should have the right to participate in women's sports and said she would use her platform to support transgender athletes, while criticizing ongoing efforts to restrict their participation.
It really don't make a difference if you say he or she to me. Like when I'm out in public, like my teammates sometimes will get mad if somebody call me a he, but I'm just like, I don't care. Like, you know, we go sit down and get some food and they're like, sir, what do you want? I'm like, yeah, let me get the steak, medium well. Thank you. I'm in TSA and I'm going through TSA and, you know, the guy pats me down so I could go through. I'm cool. I didn't have people come running like, no, it's a girls. I'm like, hey, you're making it awkward. Yeah. Like, I'm just trying to get through. Whoever could pat me down the fastest, I don't care.
Yeah.
I've had the opposite where someone was like, hey, you know, it's just against the rules. Like, he can't pat you down. Like, she has to pat you down. And then she walks up and she's looking at me. She goes looking at my chest, looking me up and down, looking at my chest, trying to look at the ID, making it awkward. Or they'll ask me, you really a girl? Nah.
Her remarks quickly drew criticism from major news networks and commentators. Author Douglas Murray openly condemned Griner's position, arguing that it could disadvantage female athletes who are competing for fair opportunities, college scholarships, podium finishes, and hard-earned roster spots.
One deserves the right to play, so she's now weighed in on this. She's got a big voice.
I suppose it's sort of lucky that Brittney Griner's not just starting off, because if these are the rules when she was starting off, then the whole thing might be different. The problem we have in America on this is that there's a very distinct lack, actually, of women defending women in the public square on issues like this. And that isn't the case in every other country. And for instance, in my own country of origin, Britain, there have been very, very prominent women, not just in sports, but across the political and social platforms who have objected to...
Murray noted that years earlier, after seeing the physical advantages biological males can have over female competitors in combat sports, even Rogan had raised concerns about the issue. Griner's comments were praised by some activist groups, while several female athletes and sports figures pushed back strongly. Tennis legend Martina Navratilova and Olympic swimmer Sharon Davies have both criticized the inclusion of transgender women in women's sports, arguing that biological differences can affect competitive fairness. Critics say the debate is ultimately about protecting opportunities and competitive spaces for female athletes, while supporters of inclusion argue that transgender athletes should not be excluded from competition. Despite the ongoing disagreement, the issue continues to divide fans, athletes, and sports organizations across the country.
A woman decided to stand up for women and female spaces. And that woman is now getting lambasted by other women because she doesn't support transgender people in female spaces. Sophie Cunningham, who many of you will probably know from this video, recently got herself in hot water because she had the audacity to say that women and girls should be protected.
WNBA star Sophie Cunningham, who plays guard for the Indiana Fever, when an ESPN feature quoted her opposition towards biological men competing in women's sports. She said she wanted to protect young girls both on court as well as in the locker room, calling her position kind of common sense. It has everything to do with
the WNBA leadership now finds itself in a difficult position as the debate between league policies and differing views on women's sports continues to grow. While players like Sophie Cunningham have faced public criticism for expressing their opinions, others like Griner continue to advocate for greater inclusion of transgender athletes. The divide has fueled intense debate among players, fans, and commentators. But when the media conversation began spiraling, attention suddenly shifted back to Griner's own history as viral online discussions and resurfaced claims brought new scrutiny to the controversy, creating another issue that put the league under even greater pressure.
This jersey used to represent someone I respected as an athlete. Today it represents something I can't support anymore. Sports have the power to bring people together, but when someone uses their platform to demonize or marginalize an already vulnerable community, I have to decide where I stand. I'm burning my support. As a trans woman, I've spent years fighting just to exist authentically.
I will never understand how these people think this is some sort of a win for their side. Like, I am begging you people to be normal. Despite the monumental freakout, Cunningham didn't back down, which we love to see.
Viral discussions across major media platforms have put the WNBA under growing pressure as public scrutiny continues to rise. Analysts on the popular valuetainment program examined resurfaced footage, old media reports, and online claims surrounding Griner's past, while also questioning how major sports networks have covered her time in Russian detention.
Brittney Griner, the WNBA's Brittney Griner, is in fact, a man.
Brittney, let me see something real quick. Brick, thank you.
Damn.
Look at the chest.
Jab stepping, Mr. Brick. Swing and a miss.
It's very clearly Brittney.
I ain't gonna fake it right now.
They called him/her by their name. And as you can clearly see here, his bare chest is complete.
While private athletic organizations can promote their own policies, taxpayer-funded sports and educational programs must still address questions of competitive fairness. Analysts discussing the issue have pointed to what they describe as inconsistencies in how major sports outlets cover controversial league topics, while emphasizing that biological factors such as lung capacity, bone density, and muscle mass can create significant physical differences between male and female athletes. The debate over these differences has become increasingly intense, with critics arguing that the ongoing controversy is adding to the WNBA's broader struggle for mainstream attention and public support.
Cultural power. This is why the WNBA this is not going to go away. This issue is not going to go away. They're in such a bad position here. Caitlin Clark, they have cultural power. People love them. People are buying tickets that would never care about the WNBA. There's a reason why people call Sophie Cunningham MAGA Barbie, and people are starting to fill the arenas to watch her and Caitlin Clark. She's not apologizing for saying that there should be no men in this woman's sport. It's caused an absolute crisis, and people are losing their mind.
Caitlin Clark is an absolute all-star. She is the Michael Jordan of this. This is the girl that girls have been waiting for forever.
Caitlin Clark is a rising star in women's basketball. She's pulling in crazy viewership numbers.
These women spent $1,000 on tickets to attend the Indiana Fever versus Atlanta Dream game, specifically to see Stoke.
Before generational star Caitlin Clark entered the league, women's basketball had already spent decades building its foundation. But her arrival changed the conversation almost overnight. She broke viewing records, helped fill arenas across the country, and brought women's basketball an unprecedented level of commercial attention. Millions of fans tuned in to watch her exciting style of play, incredible shooting range, and genuine passion for the game, showing the enormous audience that elite basketball can attract. However, critics argue that league management and media commentators have allowed cultural controversies to overshadow the sport itself, instead of fully recognizing Clark's historic impact.
Thing that he's doing where he's pretending that he's a woman is very smart.
It really don't make a difference if you say he or she to me.
Some psychopath can just pretend that they're a woman and knock women over on the court.
I gotta take this out. Norman's a fucking woman, dude.
I bet. It's a giant dude. A giant dude who's just dominating these chicks. So the more controversy there is, the more people do come to see them. The crazy thing about the WNBA, imagine if the NBA had the same sexual dynamic. Imagine if the most of the team was a bunch of gay dudes who were like very aggressive.
While the WNBA is receiving more public attention than ever, Joe Rogan argued on his program that putting political posturing ahead of the league's growing fan base could cause leadership to waste a major opportunity. Athletes like Sophie Cunningham have become part of the debate by speaking openly about fairness in women's sports, while Brittney Griner's position has drawn strong disagreement from critics who believe biological differences should remain a factor in competition. Ultimately, the ongoing debate over league policies, leadership, and political issues risks frustrating fans who simply want to focus on competitive basketball. Supporters of Cunningham and Martina Navratilova argue that defending biological differences is important for protecting the future of women's athletics, while others believe greater inclusion is necessary. The WNBA now faces the challenge of balancing these competing views while continuing to grow the sport and support stars like Caitlin Clark. What do you think about Joe Rogan's criticism of the WNBA and Brittney Griner's position? Do you support Sophie Cunningham's views on fairness in women's sports? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more basketball